What's up, Rich Squad? Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and this is the 4th episode of my 100 days to 2018 FIFA World Cup countdown. In this episode, I'm gonna let you know every team that has ever qualified for the FIFA World Cup. There have been 79 teams qualifying so far in the history of the FIFA World Cup. But you could add one more to that list: World Cup 2022 host Qatar. So guys, we are gonna start from the teams that qualified for the first ever World Cup in 1930. There were 13 teams in the first World Cup, which was hosted by Uruguay. And those teams are Argentina, Belgium, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, France, Mexico, Paraguay, Peru, Romania, United States, Uruguay, the winners, and Yugoslavia. The next World Cup was held in 1934 and it was hosted by Italy. It increased from 13 to 16 teams, and there were 10 new teams at the 1934 FIFA World Cup. And those 10 new teams were Austria, Czechoslovakia, the runners-up for that World Cup, Egypt, Germany, Hungary, Italy, winners and hosts of the 1934 World Cup, Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. The next World Cup was held in 1938 and hosted by France. This World Cup had 15 teams participating and 4 new teams entering. Those debutants were Cuba, Dutch East Indies, now known as Indonesia, Norway, and Poland. Since FIFA decided to cancel the 1942 and the 1946 World Cup, the World Cup came back again in 1950. It was hosted by Brazil and 13 teams participated at this World Cup. We saw one new team making their debut, and that team was England. Let's fast forward 4 years to the 1954 World Cup hosted by Switzerland. This World Cup saw 15 teams participating and 3 new debutants. Those teams were Scotland, South Korea, and Turkey. The next World Cup was held in 1958 and hosted by Sweden. This was also a 16-team World Cup, and we saw 3 new debutants. Those teams were Northern Ireland, Soviet Union, and Wales. 1962, hosted by Chile. 16-team World Cup once more, 2 new debutants in Colombia and Bulgaria. Let's fast forward to the 1966 World Cup hosted by England, won by England, 16-team World Cup, 2 new debutants in North Korea and Portugal. Portugal, they placed 3rd at that World Cup, and we got introduced to the legend Eusebio. 1970 Mexico, 16-team World Cup, 3 new teams in Morocco, Israel, and El Salvador. 1974 West Germany, 16 teams participated, and we had 4 new debutants in Australia, East Germany, Haiti, and Zaire. The 1978 World Cup was hosted by Argentina, and 2 new teams debuted at the World Cup. We got introduced to Iran and Tunisia. Let's fast forward to 1982 Spain, where we saw an increase in the number of teams participating at the World Cup. It increased from 16 to 24, and we saw 5 new debutants at that tournament. There was Algeria, Cameroon, Kuwait, and New Zealand all being introduced to the world. 1986, the World Cup came back to Mexico, and we saw 3 new debutants in Canada, Denmark, and Iraq. Yes, Iraq, you heard it right. In 1990 Italia, we were introduced to 3 more teams. We saw Costa Rica, the Republic of Ireland, who made it to the quarterfinals, and the United Arab Emirates. Let's fast forward to the 1994 World Cup hosted by the USA. We were introduced to 3 new teams in Greece, Saudi Arabia, who qualified for the round of 16, and Nigeria. On to 1998, my first World Cup ever. The teams were increased from 24 to 32, and we saw 4 new debutants at that tournament. In Croatia, who placed 3rd at that World Cup, Japan, Jamaica, and future World Cup host South Africa. Let's move on to the 2002 World Cup, co-hosted by Japan and Korea. This was the first time the World Cup was hosted by two countries, and we saw 4 new debutants at the tournament. They were China's People's Republic, Ecuador, Senegal, who got all the way to the quarterfinals, and Slovenia. Germany 2006. We saw 6 new debutants at that World Cup. 4 of those teams were from Africa, and they were Angola, Ghana, who got to the round of 16, Ivory Coast, and Togo. Trinidad and Tobago also qualified for the 2006 World Cup, and Ukraine, who got all the way to the quarterfinals of that tournament. The 2010 World Cup, hosted by South Africa, we only saw 1 new team making their debut at that tournament, and that team was Slovakia. Also, the 2014 World Cup, hosted by Brazil, we also saw 1 new debutant at that tournament, and that team was Bosnia and Herzegovina. And last but not least, guys, the 2018 World Cup, hosted by Russia, we will see 2 new debutants at that tournament, and those teams are Iceland and Panama. That brings the total to 79. If you are Qatar World Cup 2022 host, we would have a grand total of 80 teams qualifying for the FIFA World Cup. So there you have it, guys, all 80 nations that has qualified for the world's biggest sporting event, the FIFA World Cup. If you enjoyed this video and it was of any help to you, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm doing a 100 days to the 2018 FIFA World Cup countdown. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. Leave any video ideas in the comment section down below. I just might do it. So guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, peace out. Rich Squad! What's up, Rich Squad? There has been 80 teams qualifying. 80 teams has There has been 79 teams qualifying so far for the history. No. There has been 70 times. The next World Cup was held in France 1938. The next World Cup was held in France 1938. 15 teams participated at the World Cup. Important video just telling you about the teams that qualified. Let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to 1966 World Cup hosted. We had 4 new debutants in East Germany, Haiti. Let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to 1994, a World Cup hosted by the USA. We were introduced to 3 and they qualified. They're really impressed at that. Okay. Let's fast forward to Jamaica, Japan, Croatia, and South Africa. Croatia, they got at the 2018 World Cup, which is 97 days from the time I'm making this World Cup, we will see 2 new debutants at that tournament. Those teams are Iceland and Panama. The 2018 World Cup, which is 97 days from the making. So that's it, guys. All the teams that has qualified for every World Cup ever held. So that's it, guys. All the teams that has qualified for the FIFA. So that's it, guys. All the nations that has ever qualified for the FIFA World Cup. If you enjoyed this video and it was of any help to you, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more. So there you have it, guys. All 80 nations that has qualified for the world's greatest ever sporting event, the FIFA World Cup. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos, because I'm doing a 100 days countdown to the World Cup. Because I'm doing a 100 days to the FIFA 20. Because I'm doing a 100 days countdown to FIFA.